It's Ash from Super Videos back for another video for the Walking Dead spin-off Dead City. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the promotional images from the show, which actually showcases Negan and Maggie traveling through the streets of Manhattan. Now, obviously, we knew that the show will take place in New York, but this is the first time we're actually seeing some images that show us exclusively the streets of New York, in this case specifically Manhattan, and it's definitely a cool visual that looks very different than what we were used to, so that's super awesome. Now, this connects to a short behind the scenes clip that we looked at on the channel. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to go through it here, but you can go check it out. So this is promotional images that were taken around the time that they were filming during the footage that we saw. So stay tuned, we'll be right back to break these down. Alright, as always, before we dive into it, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. With that said, let's dive right into it. Now, the quality of these images is not really that good, but these are the best that I could find. For some reason, these were extremely difficult to find online. Anyway, let's look at these. First, we have this cool shot of Maggie in front of a barrel burning something. Now, this was also a shot that was in the teaser. Obviously, this is the streets of some sort of a big city. This may not necessarily be Manhattan, but others that we're going to look at are definitely Manhattan. We have this one, we have Maggie, Negan, and another character, a new character, barricading the doors of a restaurant called Delmonico's. Now, I didn't know this, but someone pointed it out in the comments of the other video where we looked at the footage, which was pretty much these three characters walking up to the door and standing in front of it. But they did point it out that this is actually a pretty expensive restaurant in Manhattan, and they actually had to shut down the streets near this area to film. So the budget that they got for Dead City is more than you would expect. So that's definitely good news. But this is super cool. And then this is also related. We have Maggie, Negan, and the other character in front of the doors, and there's walkers trying to get through the door. Now, if you look at the guy, it looks like he has a star on his belt, almost like a sheriff's badge. So I wonder if he's like a sheriff. Would be interesting because obviously Rick Grimes was a sheriff. That would be interesting. Maybe he's just a cop, but this is something that I noticed that I thought was interesting. We have this other shot, which is pretty much the same thing. And then this one, again, same thing. It's just different shots of the same scene. And then we have this closer shot of the three of them. And then we have Maggie here, a very shocked Maggie. And then she screams. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, they're looking the other way. So I'm assuming that they're seeing maybe a herd come by, or they're seeing a human threat approach or something like that. And then we have this cool behind the scenes photo of Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan laughing, so that's cool. We have this other shot of Negan in front of a burnt car, just to give it that post-apocalyptic feel, obviously. But the streets are filled with litter and all sorts of stuff. Now, in The Walking Dead, they usually don't spend as much time to make the streets look apocalyptic, at least when it comes to most of the environment shots that are showcasing the streets of an apocalyptic city. There are some where they do spend time, but there are times when they don't. And on the flip side, in this case, we do see that they're actually spending a good amount of time just to make the streets look super apocalyptic and realistic. We do see Negan, Maggie, and the new character here as well. And it looks like maybe they're trying to tie this guy's hands. Maybe this is the first time they meet him and they don't trust him, something like that. We see this other shot, which is related. And then we see this cool shot of some props. Obviously, we see burnt bodies of zombies. We did see a bit of this also in the footage that we were looking at. We saw a lot of bodies being thrown down from large buildings. So I'm assuming that this is related. Maybe those zombies that were falling are zombies that were burnt, something like that. but this is definitely super cool. It's gross, but it's definitely super cool. I know that Greg Nicotero, who's obviously the mastermind behind a lot of the cool visual effects, is a part of Dead City. So this is definitely showcasing some of the things that he's been working on that we're going to see on the show. And that's pretty much it. That's the final image. Not too much else to go through, but these are definitely super cool and it gets me hyped for Dead City more than before. The more stuff they release from Dead City, the more excited I get. I didn't think that I would be as excited for the show, but I'm definitely more hyped for Dead City right now than the Daryl Dixon show. And they're not really that far off in terms of when they'll be released. Obviously, Dead City will come first, and then after like 2 months, we have the Daryl Dixon show. But I'm still more excited for the Dead City show because obviously we have more details about it, and also there's a lot of cool things that we're seeing in these teasers and trailers and photos that get me hyped for the show. As a final thing to mention, and I almost forgot about this, that's why I'm putting it at the end. I wanted to say this at the beginning, but season 2 of Dead City has been greenlit, so that's super awesome. So we're definitely gonna see at least 2 seasons of Dead City. When it comes to the Daryl Dixon show and the Rick and Michonne show, we don't know how many seasons they'll get. All we know is that the Rick and Michonne show will be a limited series, but we don't know how many seasons. At least one, but maybe more than one, maybe 2 or 3. As far as the Daryl Dixon show, we don't know anything much as far as the length of it, but I'm assuming that'll also be maybe same length as Dead City, maybe a bit less. But that's pretty much everything that I wanted to go through. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.